Hello and welcome back to the Deep Dive, where we take the sources you share with us and distill the absolute most crucial nuggets of knowledge.
We're here to cut through all that information noise and give you a really reliable, structured framework.
And today, our mission covers what is maybe one of the most fundamental skills of all, the art of a confident self-introduction.
It's that moment, right? We've all been there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You walk into a room, a new team meeting, maybe a conference, and you just get that jolt of anxiety. Our sources for today describe it perfectly. They say it's that moment your heart goes boom, boom, boom.
And that feeling is completely normal. But what these sources show us is that the introduction itself, it doesn't have to be this scary thing. It's actually a tool.
A tool.
Yeah, a really sophisticated one. The central metaphor we're unpacking today is that your introduction is like a key.
A key. I like that.
It's the thing that opens the door to a new opportunity, a new job, a new friendship.
Okay, so that's a huge perspective shift. It's not an obstacle, it's a mechanism. So our mission for you, the learner, is to pull apart that step-by-step method from the source material. We're going to build a framework you can just load into your mind.
Exactly, because the secret to calming down that boom, boom, boom feeling is just good old-fashioned preparation. Once you have a plan, the anxiety just sort of melts away and the words follow.
Okay, let's unpack this key. The sources are really, really insistent that the first move you make isn't with your words at all. It's nonverbal.
This gets overlooked so often. People are so focused on having the perfect vocabulary.
Right, they're scripting it in their head.
But confidence begins with your body. So tip number one is to start with good posture and a big smile. The sources are very specific. They say shoulders back.
Why so much focus on the posture? I mean, does it really matter that much?
Oh, it matters intensely. It's all about perception. When you pull your shoulders back, you're signaling openness, you're signaling comfort. It makes you instantly more approachable.
And if you're hunched over.
If you're hunched over, the nonverbal message is basically, please leave me alone. And people, they unconsciously pick up on that. The smile just reinforces it. It says, I am happy to be here.
Okay, so posture and smile established. Now for the words, the name. But even here, this is where the sources get really nuanced. It's not just about saying your name.
Not at all. The choice between saying, I am Paul and my name is Paul is actually about controlling the level of formality right from the get-go.
How so? What's the real difference?
Well, I am Paul is very natural. It's friendly. It's what you'd use with friends or maybe new colleagues. It suggests a kind of immediate, relaxed familiarity.
Okay, but if the stakes are higher, like a job interview or meeting a new boss, that immediate familiarity might actually not be what you want.
Exactly. And that's where my name is Emily comes in. It's the slightly more formal, more professional structure. The source uses the example, hello, Mr. Henderson, my name is Paul.
I see. It shows you respect the context. You're not just giving information, you're signaling, I understand this is a professional setting.
It's an instant show of social competence. And then there's a great little maneuver for anyone with a long name or one that's tough to pronounce.
The nickname structure.
Precisely. You just make it easy for them. You say, my name is Thomas, but please call me Tom. It just, it removes that little bit of awkwardness for the other person, and it invites a connection. It's very smart.
Okay, that foundation is locked down. Now let's get to the core content. This is the little story you tell about yourself to get a real interaction going.
And we start with pillar one, your origin and your location. A simple, I am from Brazil is okay, but the framework here wants a little more texture.
And texture just means being more specific, right? Not just the country, but the city. I am from Brazil, from a city called Sao Paulo.
Yes. But here's where the real conversational engine starts up. The material really emphasizes telling a small story, especially if you live somewhere different now.
What kind of story?
Well, if you say, I am from Brazil, but I live in London now, you have just handed the other person a perfect, natural follow-up question.
Ah, okay. You've created a little bit of conversational tension. They can ask, oh, why did you move? Or, do you like London?
Exactly. It makes sure the conversation doesn't just die right there. It turns your statement into an invitation.
It's a launch pad for a real back and forth. Got it. So, pillar two, what you do, your job, your studies.
Right. Just state your role clearly. I am a teacher, I am a podcast host, or I am a student, or even I am studying English. But the sources are really flexible here.
Meaning you don't have to have a neat job title.
Precisely. If you're between jobs or not working in a traditional sense, you just focus on your current activity. I am currently looking for a job in marketing, or I am busy taking care of my family. It's still a very relevant, very real part of your life.
And that leads to what the sources call the pro tip. And I think this is probably the most valuable part for building a real connection.
For sure. The warning in the sources is very clear. Just talking about work can be, well, a little boring.
Nobody wants to feel like they're in an interview.
Right. So the pro tip is to include something you love, a hobby. This is the piece that shifts the conversation from just facts to, a relationship.
But hold on, what about a really high-stakes professional meeting? Is talking about a hobby really appropriate? Isn't it just a distraction?
That's the perfect question. It's not a distraction. It's what they call a humanizing agent. It gives you common ground and it makes you memorable.
Okay, explain that.
If you only talk about spreadsheets,
Oh,
well, you're just another person who works with spreadsheets. You're interchangeable. But if you say, I work in finance, but on weekends I love riding my bicycle, or I love cooking Italian food.
then the other person has a non-work hook to remember you by. Like the example of the person who becomes the girl who loves coffee. It's friendly, it's human.
It creates a cognitive hook. Your name, your job, those are facts. Your hobby, that's your personality. And people remember personality.
That makes so much sense. So that's the core content. Now for the subtleties, the politeness and context that really elevate this.
We can start with timing. Using greetings like good morning or good afternoon just sounds very polite, very proficient.
And there's a huge nuance alert here that I think is so important. It's the difference between good evening and good night.
This is critical for social fluency, yes. Good evening is a greeting. You arrive at a party at 8 p.m., you say good evening, but you have to be so careful with good night.
Because good night is what you say when you're leaving.
Exactly. If you walk into a dinner party and say good night, you've basically just announced your own departure. It's a small thing, but it shows you really get the social map of the language.
Excellent point. Okay, now let's talk about context. A party versus, a work meeting. The energy is totally different.
And your introduction has to reflect that. At a party, you can drop the formality. The most effective thing to do is find a connection point.
A social shortcut.
It is. You lead with something like, hi, I'm Emily, I'm a friend of Maria's, or I work with Tom. It instantly gives you social proof. You're not a total stranger anymore.
You're Maria's friend. It grounds you immediately.
It removes the barrier. But even after you've nailed all this, there is one final crucial step. It's what the sources call the tennis game.
Ah, yes. This is what separates a presentation from a conversation.
Totally. If you deliver your perfect, polished introduction, you hit your ball over the net, and then you just stand there.
The ball just drops, and that awful, awkward silence sets in. You did all this great work, and then nothing.
The other person is left thinking, okay, now what? It puts all the pressure on them. The move is so simple, but it's vital. You have to ask a question back.
You have to hit the ball back to them. And the phrases are so easy. How about you? Or, and you.
That's it. That one little question passes the spotlight to them. It shows you're actually interested in their story, not just telling your own. That's how you start a partnership.
So let's talk about some challenges. Not everyone is a big, outgoing personality. The sources talk about the difference between, say, Tom, the funny guy who is loud, and Sarah, who is more quiet and reserved. How does this framework help Sarah?
This is so important. The big insight is that confidence is not about being loud. You don't have to talk to the whole room.
So how does someone who is naturally quiet use this without feeling fake?
Sarah uses the framework to set a very small, very manageable goal. She doesn't try to talk to 10 people. She just finds one person, maybe someone else who is standing alone, and she uses her little script. Hello, I am Sarah. I am new here.
So the preparation becomes a kind of shield against the shyness.
It's a buffer, absolutely. She knows her first 5 steps, she executes them, and then she plays the tennis game. She passes the pressure right back. It's about being friendly, not loud.
Okay, but what if you're in the middle of the tennis game and you hit a language barrier? Someone asks a question you just don't get.
First rule, do not panic. Second rule, do not pretend you understood. That just makes things worse.
So what do you do?
The sources give you these wonderful, polite phrases that actually make people respect you more. You can just say, I'm sorry, can you repeat that? Or, what does that word mean?
And people are almost always happy to explain.
More than happy. They respect the bravery it takes to learn a new language. Asking for help shows you're determined to connect, and that is very, very confident behavior.
So that brings us to the full synthesis. Let's recap the 5 core steps of this key, just to lock it in your mind.
Okay, step 1. Start non-verbally. Shoulders back, big smile, and an appropriate greeting. Hello, or good morning.
Step 2. Your name. Choose the right formality. I am name for friends. My name is name for work.
Step 3. Where you were from, add some texture with your city or that little story about where you live now. That gives them conversational hooks.
Step 4, what you do. Your job, your studies. And then immediately, the pro tip. Add a hobby, something fun you love. That's the human connection point.
And finally, step 5, the most important part. Play the tennis game. You have to ask them a question back. And you.
That's it. That 5-part plan is the secret. If you have that locked in your head, that nervous heart will quiet down. You possess the key.
You're ready to unlock any door to a new job or a new friendship.
And before we close out this deep dive, here is your final provocative thought to take with you today.
True learning happens when you apply it, so don't wait for the next big party or meeting. The time to practice your full 5-part introduction is today, right now.
Even if it's just in the mirror.
Yes. That rehearsal is what turns this from just knowledge in your head into muscle memory. It makes the words automatic for when you really need them. Go put that key to use.
We'll see you next time for the next deep dive.